The Menu movie's plot twist explained. Something my brain snapped as the Menu, director Mark Mylod's spooky parody of the world of upscale fine dining, sped toward its shocking conclusion. After nearly 2 hours of being utterly terrified, I broke out in fits of laughter. Ralph Fiennes portrays Chef Julian Slowik as an egoistic maniac driven to violence because of his obsession with cooking skill perfection at his restaurant named Hawthorne. Warning, there will be significant ending spoilers. But what was the ending all about? Was it good or bad? Let's talk about the Menu's plot twist. So, Chef Julian's vision finally turns painfully funny after torturing his guests and allowing the woman he sexually harassed to stab him in the leg. His customers watch in horror as the kitchen staffers deftly scatter graham cracker crumbs and various sauces throughout the restaurant's dining area. Then, as the customers transform into human s'mores, Julian sets the restaurant on fire. S'mores, indeed. They voluntarily put on marshmallow costumes and cover themselves in chocolate, and then everything bursts into flames. I thought I finally grasped the meaning of the Menu when I first realized what was going on. And now, I'll try to explain the Menu's twist ending and why it actually manages to work. Who among all of us doesn't want to watch John Leguizamo and Judith Light turn into s'mores while this scene is pure mayhem? Add to that the absurdity that the diners are all willingly participating in their own deaths. Collectively, the trapped diners at Hawthorne never really make an attempt to resist Chef Julian or leave the island. At the start of the meal, they make a few stuttering protests, mainly the "do you know who I am?" variety, before giving in and accepting their lot. All of the characters are wealthy individuals who have never had to deal with discomfort, so it appears as though they are just going along for the ride because they are unable to comprehend what is taking place for them. They are automatons that transition between luxurious experiences like clockwork, and Chef Julian's scheme has essentially made them malfunction. Julian would want to exact revenge on these affluent, privileged people in a particularly humiliating way. And is there anything more humiliating than having to prepare your body for consumption? The Menu encourages us to cheer for these characters' deaths after observing how they act in the restaurant and learning about their transgressions outside of it. Wow, he really is turning these people into s'mores, but you're also kind of curious to find out what comes next. That seems like a pretty obvious result of existing in a world where a select few can spend $1,000 on a meal at a restaurant like Hawthorne, while countless others are left to wonder if they will ever have any food. Mylod claims that the dish is an imitation of the renowned tabletop dessert created by chef Grant Ashot's for Alinea, which for the record does not involve any self-immolation. Mylod told Eater that one of the major changes I made to the script as soon as I joined the project was to add a more operatic ending. We did a lot of in-depth research on how to make the details of the dessert elements work, because we wanted to end this meal with a bang. But why s'mores instead of something else, say, a baked Alaska? This appears to be a very pragmatic choice. It appears to be much more difficult to ask people to put on marshmallow suits and pour chocolate over their heads than it does to simply ask them to coat themselves in ice cream and meringue. But in all honesty, it's probably a jab at food snobs who think s'mores are bad. What's up with Margot's burger, exactly? Margot requests a cheeseburger from Chef Julian before leaving the island on a boat, giving the audience a brief glimpse of the person behind the monster. Julian grinned and gave Margot permission to go. The last thing we see Margot doing is taking a big bite of the cheeseburger as she watches Hawthorne burn to the ground from quite a safe distance as she boards the boat with a doggy bag containing half of that cheeseburger. But as she bites into the burger, she hears a faint clap that sounds exactly like Chef Julian's, which might mean that he's done something sinister to her survival food. The movie, starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Nicholas Hoult, and Ralph Fiennes as the terrifyingly intense Chef Julian, is obviously influenced by the common stories about prestige food. A clear nod to Chef's Table can be seen in the transition scenes, which are designed to resemble menu cards that describe each course. The meals closely resemble the intricately designed plates you'd find at Noma. This is probably due to the involvement of Chef Dominique Crenn, who served as the movie's culinary consultant and contributed her knowledge. The first course, a combination of seaweed, rocks, and barely frozen filtered seawater is apparently such a moving analog that overly sentimental foodie Tyler Holt breaks down in tears at its beauty while his date Margot, Taylor-Joy, stands by in disdain. Where the hell did this idea come from? Does this turn really work? It certainly came as a surprise. You truly have no idea how this dinner will turn out for the entire 2 hours. You almost have the impression that Margot, who is revealed to be a sex worker and not a member of the upper class like the rest of the diners, will emerge as the hero and find a way to save everyone at some point. Each diner in a more conventional horror movie might be killed off in a manner that is directly related to their bad behavior, such as the tech bros being killed by a computer or the philandering politician being ostracized by a mistress. However, Chef Julian's choice to host a sizable human bonfire feels both cinematically appropriate and authentically restaurant-like. Every chef wants the perfect dessert to cap off the evening, right? Why does the movie make everyone into human s'mores? And what is that supposed to mean? God, I'm just speechless. I'm very curious to know what you all have to say. Share your thoughts, questions, judgments in the comment section, and I will read every single one of them. Please do like our video, subscribe to our channel, and share as much as you can. Trust me, I won't be able to look at s'mores the same way ever again.